Hello and welcome back to the Games Kingdom. My name's Carl King and today we've got an unboxing of the new game by Mindclash called Revenant. It is a game by Alan Kirkby with artwork by Ian O'Toole, and this video is brought kindly in conjunction with both Mindclash, who have supplied this review copy of Revenant, but they've supplied it via Everything Board Games magazine. So Everything Board Games magazine is an online publication based in the US, and I do written reviews for them, and we will be getting a written review for this in the coming weeks once I've had a chance to play it, certainly solo and also hopefully multiplayer. But as I say, this particular copy was sent very kindly by Mindclash via Everything Board Games magazine. They requested this and then kindly chose me to do the reviews and things on this. So I decided to do an unboxing. It will go on obviously all the usual sort of pages that I do normally post so that it gets maximum exposure, but I'll also be sending this through to Everything Board Games, and that will appear on hopefully their socials as well. So as I say, this is the ADMIRAL edition, so I think this is the sort of top level tier of the game. So it is a space sort of exploration game, and you do get quite a lot. Hopefully you can see here what you get. So you get 12 crew miniatures, 69 ship miniatures, 30 damage miniatures, 26 corruption miniatures, 4 rift miniatures, 15 discovery data miniatures, and 12 acrylic shield tokens, 4 booklets, and various other bits and pieces. So this is the sort of top level. So this has got all the sort of whistles and bells, as it were. So and some of the things in here you won't potentially get in the lower levels. So as I say, this was very nice of them to send this copy via Everything Board Games magazine to myself to do these reviews. You can, if you wish, skip the rulebook by going through a diced tutorial, so that will teach you while you play. There will also, no doubt there will be some other tutorial videos out there from various different people who are better at that sort of thing than me. I don't get involved in too many of those, to be honest, because as I say, other people are far more adept and far better at doing those tutorial videos than I ever could be. But yes, so we'll crack on and we'll show you what's inside. So I have opened the box and just had a look and then taken some of the bits and pieces out, but I've not opened any of the sort of bits that are in the cellophane. I thought I would leave that to when we're doing this video. So we'll get some scissors ready to crack some bits and pieces open. So as you can see here, there is a Reason and Faith expansion that's already in the box. So that's to one side. There's the main rule book. There's a solo rule book. There is what I think Mindclash do very well for all of their games. They do these handy little sort of, sometimes it's a single page sheet, and sometimes like this they give you a booklet and it tells you where to put everything in the trays, because some of the stuff is already in trays, like you'll see some of the miniatures, but then some of the bits and pieces that you've got to sort of break out and that's in here, you'll put them into these trays, and then obviously the trays which are already in the box currently will then sort of fill up with the necessary items. So as you can see here, you've got layers 1, 2, layer 2 again, layer 3 and layer 4. So as you can see, there's some very nice miniatures that we're going to be taking a look at. And then you've got component upgrades in the ADMIRAL edition. So this tells you what you're getting as upgrades. So some of them you can see are sort of actual miniatures and sort of actual tokens, plastic tokens rather than bits of cardboard. And you can see again here, so you're also going to get some custom rift dice, rather than the standard ones. And then you've got your other bits and pieces down here for your ship miniatures. And yeah, as I say, this booklet is extremely useful because it also helps you at the end of game sessions when you're playing with friends. If they're helping you pack away, it shows everybody where each train needs to go. So let's have a look at some of these bits and pieces that we've got here. So as I say, we'll just sort of open these on camera. So some of these you will have seen in that quick flick through of the booklet. So these are some bits and pieces that you're going to have to punch out. So we'll just rest them on the box for the minute. So these will obviously punch out of these and they'll go into certain trays in the box. But as you can see, they're mostly sort of single side. The other side is printed, but only sort of a colour and a sort of pattern, whereas everything you need is on this side. And I believe you put one of the ships or whatever on these as it shows you in the booklet. So you've got more of those. You've got some little boards. You've got a track there. And then again, these are the tokens that you're going to get. So you get all of these in the Admiral edition as well, because not everybody likes playing with miniatures. Some people prefer the cardboard tokens, and it depends where you are playing and who you're playing with. So you might think, oh no, I'll break out the tokens because of the group that I'm with, or maybe on the ages of the people that you're playing with. But yeah, mostly I would think if you're going to buy this, you're going to use this particular sort of version. You're going to use the actual sort of tokens in miniatures, but you do get, as I say, as you can see here, you do get all of the cardboard tokens. You've got more of those ship bases again here, and then we've got some other bits and pieces here that are printed, and again mostly printed one side. The other side has obviously a designation on the back of what that particular token or card is for. We're not going to run through anything like that today. I'm not going to give you an overview of the rules, but I'm just showing you what you get for your money in this Admiral edition. And then we've got again more boards here. So as I say, all of these, you know, will be punched out to a certain degree. And then we'll have a quick look at this, because this is the main game board. It's not massive, it is double-sided, and I think it does depend on player count. I'm not sure where it tells you what that player count is, to be honest, but as you can see there, that's printed, and that's slightly different on the reverse side. So I don't know if that's just aesthetics or whether there is a, as I say, whether there is a difference. I think there is, because there's an 8 in this corner. Oh, maybe, unless it's sort of printed opposite corners. But yeah, that's a nice chunky board, and that's the game board that you'll be playing on. And then you've got some, which I assume potentially might be actual player boards. So there's 4 of those, because it is a 1 to 4 player game. You've got a nice score pad, which will see you through quite a number of games, because they are double-sided pages, and they're all of the different areas of scoring are all marked out, and then you get your totals. And then we come on to obviously what the main thing is in a edition of this sort of ilk. As I say, with it being the sort of top tier, the Admiral edition, you're going to see lots and lots of miniatures. So we'll try and get these, and maybe it might be better to take off the lid and to be a bit less glare. So as you can see here, they are very nicely detailed on certainly the side that you're going to be looking at. And as I say, there are a lot of miniatures in here. Some of your smaller ships here, and some of those again tokens, and actually that's a small ship. there. Hopefully you can see that. They will go out on the board. So very nice chunky pieces of plastic, so they have done an excellent job, as they always do, Mindclash. I've got some of their other games that I purchased myself, Perseverance. I've got episodes 1 to 4 of those, and also Anachrony, which is my #1 game of all time. So that is a Mindclash game. And then we've got more of those ship and miniatures here. Again, very nicely detailed, and then some very nice tokens, again well detailed. I'm not sure exactly how they work into the game yet. I've not sat down and read the rules, so this is sort of my initial things on seeing some of these. I've not taken any of these miniatures out of these boxes and trays before. So you've got the 4 different player colours there, so, and then you've got more of those smaller ships, and then things here, maybe, I'm not sure whether they're drones or another small ship, and then you've got the rather large miniature there, which is a good sort of 6 inches long, and you put some, I think you put some cards and bits and pieces in there, but obviously, as you can see in some of these miniatures, they have got sort of holes and recesses, so you will be putting bits and pieces into those during the game once you start to play. And then again, player colour tokens in the tray there, some white cubes, some more sort of, they look like almost like barricades there, but I'm not sure again what these things are. And as you can see, there's lots of these spaces, so that's where all of those sort of punched board tokens will go. A completely empty tray there, so one that completely needs filling. And then the last one that's in the box, hopefully you can see that. I'm not going to try and or attempt to take that out, because it'll be a bit of a nightmare to get out and then try and get back in. But you can see, again, you can see down here we've got those upgraded dice, some plastic components. We'll try, actually we will try and take the top off, because there is a, actually I didn't notice that, but there is a nice little handy sort of finger hole to take that off. So again, you can see those nicely printed upgraded dice, some nice plastic markers, some metal coins and a token, so hopefully you can see in the bag there some, and hear that. I always like metal coins in a game, they do make the experience a lot better. And then we've got stacks and stacks of cards for the game. So yeah, a lot to get your teeth into in this particular edition. I think that is the bottom layer in the box. So yeah, we've got again another bag of multicoloured player sort of tokens there, I would assume. But yes, we've got some very nice components to work our way through, and it's going to take me a little while to get my head around all of what's going on in here, but we will get there. We will get a game going, and I'll come back with a review once I've played the game solo to start with. But yeah, that's a quick unboxing of all the bits and pieces. But what we'll do, we'll stick the lid back on for now, after leaving some of the bits out of the box, because they've all got to be sorted out anyway. And as I say, we've seen this particular handy little sheet and booklet that tells you how to put everything in the different trays. So they've made a start with some of the miniatures, you've just got to finish that off. So we've got the rule book So we'll have a quick look through and show you bits and pieces. So as you can see here, you've got the game board. There's a lot of components. So this is the setup. So the board looks very busy. If this is a sort of starting setup for the game, it looks extremely busy on that board. You've got bits in every area. Tells you how to do your different influence board. So that was that track that I showed you earlier when I took out some of the boards, and you've got all of these other boards that you're going to use. I have seen online that people have said this is a mammoth table hog, so you're going to need a big area to put this down and play when you're playing this 4-player. Might not be so bad, hopefully, doing it solo, but we'll have to have a look at that, because as I say, there is a separate book that says do this and then add in this extra setup sort of stuff, as far as I can tell from a quick flick through when I opened the box initially. So you've got all of your different bits and pieces, your fighters, your frigates, your drop ships, your provision and mine. So you know, you've got your actions, so it'll tell you all about your actions. The Revenant, which is that big ship miniature, as far as I can tell, that the Revenant is the big one. And then you've got your different things that you're going to work through, different phases, and then coming on to things like final scoring, your introductions, and then what I haven't seen is, unless it's in somewhere else in amongst these bits and pieces, is normally they do a very nice sort of player aid and glossary of what all of the terminologies and the symbols mean. But we'll see if there's anything else in any of these other booklets as we work through. But as I say, this is the solo game. And then so you've got a glossary in here. So maybe they've put it into here rather than into the main rule book. So then you've got things about your crew, boards, planets, and there you go. So you've got your icon reference and your activities in here, and your solo icons, your activities general, specific, your abilities, the 7 houses, your cards, ships, planets, and the fleet. So all of these different things here, it will tell you what sort of ship they are, what the tokens are. So this is nice. This is in the at the back of the solo book, so it does say solo rule book and glossary. But yeah, to be honest, I would download a copy of this if there are some on either the Mindclash site or maybe Board Game Geek, or if not, just photocopy these and then double back them and perhaps do a bit of laminating. But yeah, and give each player a copy of that, because it does come in handy and it stops people having to hog the rule book if they've got a sheet that will tell them exactly what every symbol in the game and the cards are. So again, we've got this is the expansion. So it tells you how to not only put the expansion into your 2 to 4 player games, but also adding it into the solo game as well. But obviously from the get-go, I'm just going to play the solo game as it is without the expansion, and then add that in once I'm used to playing the game solo a few times. But yeah, by the look of it, it looks nice. Very well produced, as always with Mindclash. As I say, they do produce some fantastic games and components. The rule books are always really nicely done, easy to follow. They've got some cracking people that they do tutorials on how to play. So check that out online if you've got a copy of this, or if you're thinking of getting a copy. Now you can see obviously what is in the Admiral edition, but if you go online, I think, not sure if you can still late pledge, but you probably will be able to get this through some retailers, and also potentially from Mindclash Direct, and obviously at any shows that they may be attending in the upcoming future. So as I say, if you like what you see here, go and check it out. And again, thanks again to Mindclash and also to Everything Board Games magazine for giving me this opportunity to not only do this sort of unboxing, but also for them to send me this copy to do the reviews and obviously to keep. So yeah, that's extremely generous, and we'll be back in due course with the thoughts of myself and my gaming group once we've got this to the table and given it a thorough sort of tryout. And until we do another one of these, it's bye for now.